In today's video, we'll talk about the good, the bad, and the buggy. Most bugs are just buggies. They do what insects do, and have minimal impact on our daily lives. Today's insect is sometimes a pest when it eats sweet potatoes, and sometimes beneficial when it feeds on bindweed, but it's always a curiosity. It's my favorite beetle in Whatcom County, and it's a treat to catch a glimpse of it. Distribution. The golden tortoise beetle is distributed widely in eastern North America, west to about Iowa and Texas. It is one of 3 species of tortoise beetle found in Florida. The golden tortoise beetle is a very attractive beetle. Adults are about 1/4 inch long, circular in shape with a flattening ridge outlining the body, concealing the head and legs much like a tortoise. What is striking about the adult golden tortoise beetle is the color. In spring and summer, the beetles earn their name when they turn the color of brilliant liquid gold. But capture one and the gold vanishes and the beetle becomes dirt brown. Here's why. The color is produced by an optical illusion. The outer cuticle is transparent and reflects light through a layer of liquid over the next layer of cuticle. The beetles change color depending on the availability of the liquid layer. In the fall and winter, the beetles become less lustrous and are more orange and bronze with flashes of iridescent color. If you try and collect the beetle for an insect collection, the beetle soon turns dark brown as it dries, losing the golden color. The beetles are most beautiful left alive. The larvae hatch out in late May and June, and are just as intriguing as the adults, but in a very different way. The young larvae are very small, with many protuberances outlining their bodies, giving them a frilly and spiny appearance. As the larvae molts, it keeps its old skin attached to a fork-like structure hinged to its rear end. The larvae will also add feces to the cast skin, causing it to appear as a black mess. A potential predator could mistake the would-be snack for bird droppings or some sort of crud. But wait, if that's not weird enough, the larvae can operate their shield as a defense mechanism. When they are disturbed by another insect or a curious gardener, they flip the crusty shield up in the direction of the disturbance. This fecal shield turns out to be an unappetizing, effective deterrent to predators. Who would want to eat that? The golden tortoise beetle produces 1 generation per year and spends the winter as an adult beetle in protected plant debris. When warmer temperatures arise and plants begin to grow, the adults forage for food. The golden tortoise beetle feeds only on plants in the Convolvulaceae family. These include shrubs and herbs, and also the sweet potato, and a few other food tubers. As beetles become nourished in the spring, their lustrous color appears and they begin to mate. One could imagine that the color is used for mate attraction, since it is unlikely that they would turn that color to put on a show for me. The golden tortoise beetle is not a local native, but no one knows when, where, or who introduced them to the Pacific Northwest. They feed on many species in the morning glory family, such as shrubs and sweet potatoes. Both the adults and larvae feed on foliage. Adult feeding damage looks much like multiple bullet holes in the leaf. Young larvae tend to skeletonize the leaves at first, but will produce larger bullet holes in the leaf as they grow, changing colors to fit the mood. Of course, these beetles' most obvious and eye-catching trait is the metallic gold appearance of the remainder of the shell. When the beetle is at rest and relaxed, the shell becomes a brilliant metallic golden color, often with hints of green or blue. When disturbed, however, the color will shift to a bright red with black spots pattern. A similar color shift also occurs when the beetles are copulating, but instead of red with black spots, they become a shimmering crimson tone. Such reversible color change is rare in insects. Bending light with fluid. When filled with a chemical called luciferin, the upper layers of the shell refract a substantial portion of the incident light, almost like a mirror. This produces the spectacular metallic, occasionally iridescent coloration, noted when the beetle is at rest. If the beetle is disturbed, it drains these layers and disrupts the mirror effect to expose the red and black undertones below. The researchers called this phenomenon hygrochrome and likened the beetle's shell to a switchable mirror. Without the moisture required to create the reflection, only the underlying pigmentary colors remain. A postmatism without all the work. But why shift color in the first place? Research conducted in 1979 by Edward Burroughs suggests that the color shifts may serve at least two distinct functions. The first proposed function involves sexual signaling. Burroughs observed that young beetles appear to be incapable of producing the golden coloration found in adults, and thus a shift to gold may serve as an indicator that an individual has completed beetle puberty and is ready for adult activities. The second proposed function concerns the shift from gold to red with black spots that occurs when the beetle is disturbed. Burroughs noted that certain insectivorous birds find golden tortoise beetles very appetizing, but avoid eating the similarly shaped ladybird beetles, which they find unpalatable. Since a red with black spots, golden tortoise beetle resembles a ladybird beetle. It's possible that they evolved an appearance that mimics that of the unpalatable ladybirds. Such behavior is known as Bayesian mimicry, and occurs when a harmless or otherwise palatable species has evolved to imitate the warning signals of a harmful or otherwise unpalatable species as a means of defense against predation. Obviously, much more research needs to be done before we fully understand all the intricacies of this remarkable insect. But in the meantime, I'm certain that its spectacular coloration will continue to enthrall all naturalists for generations to come. Mating. The golden tortoise beetle develops from eggs to adults in 23 to 43 days. Their larvae, and those of the clavate tortoise beetle construct, and carry fecal masses that appear defensive in function. Copulation usually occurs with the male mounted on the female, and it lasts from 15 to 583 minutes. They often copulate repeatedly with the same mates, and are also polygamous. During copulation, older adults change color from 120 to 1,033 seconds, from brownish-orange with black spots to brilliant metallic gold. These beetles are usually gold when they are undisturbed. Disturbance causes them to turn from gold to goldish-orange, with black spots in from 12 to 141 seconds, and then eventually turn to brownish-orange with spots. While changing color, males show spots significantly faster than females. Life cycle. Very little biological information is available on this species, probably reflecting its slight economic importance. In New Jersey, the beetles first appear in May or June, commence feeding on weeds, and deposit eggs soon thereafter. A new population of adults is evident in July. The new adults feed briefly before entering diapause until the following spring. Development time from egg to adult requires about 40 days. The number of generations per year is unknown in Florida. Damage. Both larvae and adults feed on foliage. The typical form of injury is the creation of numerous, small to medium-sized irregular holes. Both stages usually inhabit the lower surface, but eat entirely through the foliage. Rarely are golden tortoise beetles abundant enough to be considered damaging, natural enemies. The wasp and the bristle flies are known to attack golden tortoise beetle. The shield carried by the larvae is somewhat effective against small predators, but large predators, especially those with long piercing sucking mouthparts, are not deterred. Management. Larvae and adults are easily controlled by application of insecticides to the foliage, but this action is rarely warranted. That's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching.